firing your real estate agent. Good morning, everyone. We're going to talk to you today about firing your real estate agent for rentals, for sales, how to do it, why to do it, when to do it. Stay tuned.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Morning Minutes, episode 512. Myself, Michael Bergio, Mark Novak. Switching your real estate agent. There probably hasn't been a more important time to know basically what you can do, when you can do it, when it comes to a sales agreement, a rental agreement. When markets, this is almost even though we're in a soaring market, it's very similar to basically a down market where agents can't do the traditional marketing campaigns to get a property sold or leased, and some agents just can't adapt to that. So you may pick a great agent in how they normally do their sale campaigns, but in this market you may need what's their B plan, what's their C plan, just with the uniqueness of the climate at the moment. So today Mark and I will talk about where it is. Basically, I think we should start with sales agreement. What is a sales agreement? What does a vendor sign when they go to market? Typically, we'll just do an exclusive.
Yeah, so they definitely can't. There are agents at the moment that definitely can't pivot to get a great result for clients, and sometimes you may have to choose one. Entering into an exclusive agency agreement, just so everyone understands what an exclusive agency agreement is. When you decide to sell with a real estate agent, you will actually give your property to them for a selected amount of time. The industry standard used to be around 90 to 120 days, where that would be the period that your agent would be able to sell your property exclusively. So there's no other agent that would be able to sell it. You can't actually sell it yourself, because that's the idea of exclusive, for that duration of 90 to 120 days. Why the hell would you give your $1 million property to an agent for that amount of period? Well, you're normally not paying too much up front, but you are giving them the commitment of time, and they are giving you the commitment of their dollars and time to get a result for you.
Yeah, like a typical campaign is 4 to 5 weeks, and you got settlements. So it's been pretty standard, that 90 to 100 days, which most owners are happy with, because you don't just go a 4-week campaign, we'll do a 4-week agreement that way. So it's pretty typical. But right now, a lot of agents may be choosing an agent who can do full sets of open, rely on realestate.com and domain. But right now, with lockdowns, you may not want that strategy to sell your home, or can even have that. You may want it, but you can't have that due to restrictions. So you need to rely on Facebook, pre-market campaigns, social media, an agent's database. And you may not want to go to realestate.com now, because that's where one of the big costs is. And this comes off the back of realestate.com, say, is $2,000 or $3,000, depending where you are, for a 45-day hot top spot. So unless you want to pay another let's say if a buyer can't go through your property for 45 days, it's not really, you don't want to pay for that yet. But you want to get interest, you want to get people through, you want to know if this agent can even pivot to the market, to the marketing strategy.
And also for a seller, you don't even know when you're at the dining table choosing your real estate agent. You don't even actually know. Like, every agent looks good at the dining room table going through their presentation. It's hard to know how that person is going to perform when that campaign, if that campaign gets tough, if the negotiations get difficult, if the campaign becomes a bit longer than you think. How are you going to go with that real estate agent? So, first piece of advice from this morning is, when you're entering into an agreement with a real estate agent, whether it's for rentals or sales, I'll cover rentals in a sec, but shorten up the agreement, lengthen it up later if you need to. And what we mean by that is, rather than giving the agent your property exclusively for 120 days or for 90 days, give that property to the real estate agent for 30 days or 14 days, particularly if they're doing like a pre-market strategy or a social media strategy. They don't need that 4-week auction campaign that they would normally ask for. So shorten it up. If the agent's on a tight leash and is performing, give them the 90 days afterwards that they want. If they are not, consider your other options. So a short agreement, guys.
And that's key, especially when you're going to rely on agents for a social media. Because if you're a client and you're like, well, let's look at social media, every agent's going to say they have a Facebook page, and they're going to show the client, look, I did this. They're going to tell them the case studies. It's really one of those things where you want to try before you buy. I know Lisa does this a lot, because people look at her social media and be like, sold off Facebook, and be like, shit, does it work? Can I try it? I don't know. Yeah, I can see it's a great topic.
I was just trying to see how that works.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I wasn't saying anything bad. You don't need to warn me, Lisa.
I just thought, that's really cool. I can do that.
So a lot of agents would be like, well, like I may have gone with that agent for a 6-week campaign auction, but we can't do that. I'm seeing the success Lisa has here. Let's do a 7-day agreement. You're going to know within a couple days if it's all shit, if it's hype, or if it's real. So it helps an owner as well, having the shorter agreement, and 2, it keeps the agent on their toes. So you've got that benefit. So switching an agent, think of it. Agents have plan A, B, and C with your property, and as an owner, you should as well. This agent, then that agent, if it doesn't work. Now,
and sometimes you don't know until you try. So sometimes it can all appear great at the dining room table, and it just goes to shit a week or two later with the agent. The agent may have done nothing wrong, but it just didn't work. Do you know what I mean? The rapport just wasn't there, or your gut wasn't feeling good about it. You're losing sleep over it. It's just not right. You want to have your options open.
A key thing as well, which a lot of people don't know or don't think of with an agreement. Let's say you are in a 90-day agreement now. You do not have to have your property advertised for the full 90 days. If you want to pull the ripcord, take a break, but you're in a 120-day agreement, you can tell the agent to stop marketing the property now, because it would be ideal to have a bit of break online before you go with another agent. Gives them time to freshen things up, and the residential buying cycle is quite quick. But a lot of owners, especially when I tell them, no, you just tell them to withdraw, and like, oh, I'm stuck in exclusive. Yes. So if you sell the property, they're entitled to their fee. There's nothing in there saying you have to have your property continually advertised. There's nothing in there saying you have to give access. There's nothing in there that says you have to accept your offer. So take the pressure off. If it's not going well, you can have it withdrawn, start interviewing other agents, and then putting a different strategy in place.
Does it cost you to switch?
Typically, no. The photos, if there was no upfront cost, realestate.com, it doesn't cost you anything to sign an agreement. The sale contract is the sale contract for the property, not for the agent. Your lawyer will have to change the names on the contract for the agent, but that's not a big deal. It doesn't cost you anything. There's no exit fees. There's no commission paid. If it hasn't sold, there's nothing. So it doesn't cost you anything. A lot of the time as well, you can have your outgoing agent control that and handle that process for you. They can prepare the termination letter for you. They can deliver it for you. They can organize everything there. And not to mention, the photos generally can be reused if they want to. A lot of time we redo everything because we've got our way to do it, but it can be. Also, the realestate.com, they do deals sometimes at no cost, depending the timing of it, that you can swap. Because you may just say, I'm on realestate.com now, we've got a big ad, I'm changing agents halfway through, and it can switch at no cost. Luke there. So sometimes it's quite minimal. And when you look at it, even if it wasn't, you're changing for a reason.
Yeah, and also long relationships is like property management. I've got a Lisa comment I'll bring up in a sec, but with property management, it's the same thing. You may have a long-standing relationship with a real estate agent, and it's just not working out. Maybe they've switched a property manager around. The person that's been there a long time has left, and you're left with someone who's not doing a good job for you, and you want to switch. It's generally a no-cost switch. Sales or rentals is generally a no-cost switch. And, should you feel bad about the switch? Should you feel bad? Look, I think you've got to act what's in the best interest of you and your property. Switching an agent can often make you a shitload more money. Burge, look at the one James just had in DY. From our office, James did a cleanup. The other agent had it on the market by auction. The other agent had a $895 offer that the owner accepted, exchanged on a cool off. The other agent did not understand the building very well, lost the deal over a strata inspection, couldn't explain what's happening within the strata. James came along a week later, introduced a buyer for $945.
Yeah.
$945. Guess what the owner ended up doing?
What?
Paying 2 commissions.
Yeah.
Happily. So
Yeah.
so the owner was like, you know what? If I can get $945, right, I'm still better off than the $895 offer. I'm still better to pay the other agent. I'm still better to pay you guys. You guys absolutely rock. That was so happy.
Just to give the other side to that as well, as an owner, you're going to make that switch. You got to be honest with yourself. Are you switching because you just don't like the advice you're hearing? You don't like hearing that the feedback of your property is at a level, or is it because there's little activity? We do see quite often some people change agents, selling it for less because they're just not listening to the agent with the feedback from the buyers. And that could be from the agent not building the rapport or the trust with the client. So when they say all offers are coming in at 800, you want 880, we've had 200 buyers through and no one's offered over X amount. But that's very different to let's try social media. Oh, you don't really have an active page. It's like a channel. There's lots of stations out there, but some get millions of views, some get hundreds of views. So all agents will say, yes, I've got a channel, but until you really go with them, you don't know how active that channel is. But just keep that in mind. Some agents,
it's price product to promotion. It's price product promotion. You're going to be switching. So if your property's not selling, it's priced incorrectly, the promotion's shit, or the property needs to be done up. It's not being presented well, the property. So yeah, I think, Burge, good point what you brought up. If the agent's performing in terms of marketing and promotion and it's the price that's shit, well, why would you switch an agent? But I think a lot of owners just need that confidence to know that the promotion's been absolutely exhausted before they potentially sell it for less. So the idea of switching an agent is, if your agent's nailing it, then you wouldn't switch. But if your agent's not nailing it, you don't have that confidence, then you switch. A couple of comments that have come up here. Jeff, how are you, legend?
How are you?
Guys rock. There you go. There's my comment pointing. I'm good at that now. James Lampflower, outstanding from Luke. Thank you, legend. Lisa Novak. So many clients I've had to help get out of agreement, being unhappy with other agents' post-market cleanup campaign. So I think that's post-market. So pre-market is before you sort of hit realestate.com and start an auction. You got your campaign, and then post-market is, oh shit, what do we do now? It hasn't sold at auction. So it's true. Beware of the agent that says they have a buyer. You should have more than a buyer in this market. So that's a trick. That's a trick that agents will use at the dining room table to say they have one buyer, the best buyer, sign here.
Because you've also got to gauge at what the owners want, but a lot of owners, one comes down to the agreement. If you're going to go ahead with that, it should be a 1-day agreement. Bring that one buyer through, and they go, "Oh no, yes. I need 2 weeks." Why?
Well said.
It's one buyer. I'll do
one buyer, 1 day.
One buyer, 1 day, and then you should go to them. You've been in the industry for 10 years. You should hopefully have 2 buyers, and I'll give you 2-day agreement. So just be very mindful. Owners are. They don't know they can change an agreement. It's all up for negotiation, from the fee, from the day when it starts, from the day when it ends, the termination period. You may get a little bit bullish on the termination period, all that stuff. So the main point of today is just be aware of it. We're in a very, very difficult market, not with pricing, with what different. Like things are changing. One day you can show it, one day you can't.
Yeah.
Some agents are not doing anything, and some are selling like Josh Tesla 41 properties or 51 properties in this lockdown. So you've got to look at what you're doing. But yeah, I think that's right.
Pretty incredible. That's right. Have a beautiful, beautiful day, everyone. Enjoy, and let's be a good citizen today, everyone. Hey, Burge, we're going to document this lockdown. Is it going to get looser or tighter or the same with announcements?
I haven't even looked at any of it, but my gut says same for at least another 2 weeks, if not more. Or they may put tradies back in. Yeah, same, or tradies can work, and the rest of it same.
And I'm actually really interested that they're leaving students at home, because that's really grounding the workforce as well, by leaving students at home. But anyway, have a great day, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
See ya.
Bye.